What's up, YouTube? So I wanted to give Angela Tucker, the judge in Texas, on the Carmelo Anthony case that reduced his bail and let him out. She followed the rules to the letter. She said the young man was fine in the community, had no priors, wasn't no problematic, and she went by the laws of the letter. Let me put it to you like this: if she was white, I don't think nobody would say nothing. I don't think nobody ever says anything shoe on the other foot. I know they don't. But because a black woman who's a judge, now suddenly they got a problem with her. Suddenly they want to harass, they want to call her credibility, they want to come after her. She did what she did by the laws of the letter. She didn't, a million to 250,000, you still come up with 10%. It's not drastically, it's lower by 75 grand, but it's, but he still has to be monitored. He's not exactly going to be bungee jumping. It's not like he's going to be doing cartwheels off. He's been traumatized himself. But let me tell you a story. Like I said before, it's called self-defense. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. Because George Zimmerman was a much older man than Trayvon Martin. But I don't hear no outrage and crying about, oh, well, I don't understand what that. These were two peers who went to school together, the same age, same range. So the self-defense argument sounds a lot more believable. See, people act like they never went through bullies at school where people would say stuff to you and they things you could get away with because the imagery is allowed. The racial aspect is allowed. Oh, he's on the football team. He's a good student. He's a fine No one knows what is said between the inner workings. I had it happen to me growing up and friends of mine too where the so-called students that were the cream of the crop, they could say things because they didn't appear to be. People are so quick to judge. They go by imagery all the time, and they're so quick. They have a problem with a judge who actually did due diligence, did her homework, researched this, and had a lot to think about. See, the racism is so strong. They want her to make an example out of this kid and just throw everything at him without it being that that hey, he been law abiding. His track record doesn't present itself as such. So why would I? How is he a flight risk? What is he actually a risk of? You know. So I don't see what the problem is because you know what? See people up here trying to hating and tripping. If he bail jumps or doesn't go, guess what? They come and get him. Who doesn't know Carmelo Anthony, the student right now in the States? Who wouldn't dare not, you know? I mean, usually today, everybody's got a Facebook, Twitter, maybe a Blue Sky, Instagram, Threads. I'm just saying, you don't, you're everywhere. So how is he not, you know, um, I don't think he have a Snapchat. I don't think that might be bad, but he would be on TikTok or something. I mean, it's not like you could do that. You could do that. You know, she did due diligence when you read her report about how she fine tuned everything. It's not like she said, "Okay, you go ahead and leave, go fly away, and we won't track you and all that." There were restrictions. There were ordinance. There was an accordance. You go to law school for this. You don't go to Kim Kardashian school to become a lawyer. Never mind, be a lawyer. Never mind. Real law. She did her due diligence. So I believe that there will be self defense proved in this situation when it's all said and done. I do believe it. I believe him. And it's not because he's black. I believe him because I know what it was like going to school and how bullies and how people could say stuff to you and make gestures without it necessarily being there. And then they would push on you and no one would do nothing. This ain't nothing new. It's just that it's being seen on a wider scale because we have the technology and everything that's involved. This is nothing new. She did not do anything out of her job. She did everything in accordance to the law. If you do the law and you look at and believe me, they have profiles on you. They have your number count if you've been locked up or anything like that. So it's all based on the track. They look at all the points. And if you don't have anything on you, why would you make an example out of somebody? Okay? This ain't like a Diddy situation where that is pretty heavy stuff. And this is heavy, but that's heavy stuff. That's the kind of stuff that you really lock up, and you gotta don't put everybody in the same box. But this is the problem. They thinking that he's getting some home cooking. It's not home cooking. She's actually going by the letters of the law. She's not just, and of course everything is at one's discretion. But this ain't one of them situations where I feel it's like she, if anything, she took everything in consideration. So there should be some respect by Angela Tucker's name, the judge in the Carmelo Anthony's case. Put some respect because she went by the letters of the law. And when she allowed his bond, everything was on code. Please hit like, subscribe, welcome thoughts, comments, and I do respond. Thank you. Wash your hands. Keep your mind clear. Watch out for another. Share it if you like and hit that membership. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay woke, stay free. I'm out. Peace.